Hello boys and girls and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna ask ChatGPT to give me the 5 worst WWE matches of all time, and then I'm gonna watch them, because I apparently hate myself. After watching each match, I'm gonna review it immediately for your enjoyment, and so you can see my life basically go out of my eyes. So let's ask ChatGPT what these are and... oh fuck. Before we get into the review of the first match, would you please consider liking and maybe even leaving a subscribe for your daily entertainment right here on this channel. It will go a long way in helping me achieve my dream. Thank you, and let's start this. Okay, so the 5th worst match of all time, according to ChatGPT, is Over the Limit 2012's main event, John Cena vs. John Laurinaitis. And actually, this match wasn't as bad as I remember it. I watched this match in the past and I remember it being atrocious, and to be perfectly honest, from within the ring, it was really bad. But that's not what it was supposed to be. Like, it wasn't supposed to be some masterpiece. It's John Laurinaitis. It was a comedy match, especially the first 10 minutes. They were just comedy. It was John Cena humiliating John Laurinaitis for everything he'd done to him up to that point. And they were really trying to capture this whole Stone Cold Steve Austin vibe with John Cena, and we all know that didn't work. But they were really trying, really trying, because over here it was like John Laurinaitis is Vince McMahon, and then we have John Cena, who's supposed to be Stone Cold, and then now that he's finally able to embarrass him, should we say it like that, he's going to do so. But that doesn't really fit John Cena's character, I think. And then, again, that's the first about 10 minutes of the match. Then we get this really stupid spot where John Laurinaitis jumps the barricade and John Cena like grabs him by his pants, but the pants like kind of slip off and they hit John Cena's hands, and he's like, "Ah!" And that apparently really hurts. And I know he was injured a couple weeks before the match by Brock Lesnar, but still, it's like, that's really stupid, and that makes the turn for John Laurinaitis to come back in the ring, actually start beating up on John Cena with a chair and everything. And then John Cena kicks out, gets the chair, does a 5-knuckle shuffle with the chair, and still for some reason doesn't cover John Laurinaitis, who manages to slip out, and he leaves the building. And John Cena, for whatever reason, doesn't go after him. Again, that a lot of the things in this match just don't make sense, and that's what makes it really bad. But again, not as bad as I remember, because what I remember is like being pissed off about the in-ring work. Now, I guess that I'm older, I was only about 10 at the time. Now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, this wasn't supposed to be a good in-ring performance. But a lot of the other stuff still don't make sense, because all of a sudden... Now, actually, before I do that, let me take you to a couple weeks before the match, where the match was building up, and if I'm remembering correctly, John Laurinaitis actually got a notice from the board of directors saying that he cannot have anyone interfere in the match. Remember that. So the next scene in the match, now we're back in the present, or back in the match, I guess, is the Big Show coming out with John Laurinaitis and kind of seeming like he just wants John Cena to beat John Laurinaitis, because the Big Show was fired by John Laurinaitis about, I think, a week or two before. So the Big Show kind of seems pissed at John Laurinaitis, and he brings him into the ring. And just as Cena is about to finish him off, he picks him up for the AA. The Big Show aligns himself with John Laurinaitis. Again, for some reason, couldn't tell you what it is, because I actually don't remember what happened afterwards. I think I actually took a break after this match from watching wrestling. That's about all there is to this match. John Laurinaitis beats John Cena for some reason, and the Big Show is with John Laurinaitis for some reason. So yeah, let's get into the worst match number 4. Okay, so I just got finished watching the 4th worst match of all time, and it was Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler. And remember how about the John Cena and John Laurinaitis match I said how it was better than I thought it was gonna be? This one was worse. This one was way worse than I remember it being. And it just went on for so long. I was fighting for my life not to pick up my phone because I made a challenge for myself. I said to myself, like, okay, you're not gonna be picking up your phone at all. You're just gonna be engrossed in what you're watching. I wish I didn't do that, because this was so bad. This was some of the worst television I've ever seen. And it just went so long. And not even just the match in and of itself, which was too long on its own, but the pre-match and the post-match also went on for just too long. I mean, the pre-match you have Michael Cole going out, cutting a promo, and I can barely remember what he was saying in it, and even though I just watched it, that's how bad it is. And then you have all the entrances, and then you have the match, which was pretty bad. At one point, Jack Swagger throws in the towel, and I wish the match ended there. It didn't. Still, Stone Cold just picks up the towel and wipes off the sweat. And then some more shenanigans happen. Jerry puts Michael in a ankle lock. And then the match ends, but it doesn't, because at the very end we get a segment from Raw's anonymous general manager who says that the decision has been reversed. So even though this was bad, at least there was some payoff up to this point. Now there's not even any payoff, and we never got any payoff. And I just can't believe that Michael Cole is still such a big thing. I can't believe that. Like, to this day, the way this man turned his career around, and he's beloved by many, including myself, I can't believe how he's done that after this match. Usually I think after this match, everybody would just give up. Absolutely give up. So yeah, this was bad. This was bad. The only fun thing I found out so far about these matches is that for whatever reason in both of them, someone held up the ones to acknowledge our tribal chief, even though one of these matches happened in 2011, one of them happened in 2012, and we got the tribal chief in 2021. But yeah, that was just funny to notice. I took a screenshot of both of them. I'm gonna show them here. So yeah, again, that's just funny to me. And yeah, that was the only fun thing I found so far about any of these matches. God, I hope there's more. So I just finished watching the third worst match of all time according to ChatGPT, and this is actually my own personal least favorite match of all time. And this is the 2019 Hell in a Cell between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Seth freaking Rollins. And I hate this match so much, especially once you consider my own personal top 3 contains both of these guys. Bray is my number 1, Seth is my number 3. And man, this match, the worst part about it is 95% of the match is actually pretty good. At least in my opinion, at least 95%. Because the psychology of everything is good. Seth Rollins, no matter what he does, the Fiend will not stay down. He hits him, I counted them, 11 stomps. 11 stomps. 2 super kicks, a pedigree, 2 steel chair shots. Actually, 1 steel chair shot, 2 steel steps shots. Fiend kicks out at 1. The Fiend kicks out at 1. That's how they were building up the Fiend as something that will not stay down no matter what. And then after multiple chair shots, multiple ladder shots, multiple toolbox shots, Seth Rollins would pick up that freaking hammer and he would bring the hammer down onto Bray Wyatt. And he would swing it full force on top of the steel chairs and ladders and everything. And the referee would give a no contest in a Hell in a Cell. First things first, Hell in a Cell matches exist so just for the specific reason something like this doesn't happen. When they were first invented between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, if I'm not mistaken, I remember Undertaker once saying that they made a whole storyline that Shawn would always somehow wiggle his way out, whether it be with a no contest or whatever. So they made the Hell in a Cell to prevent that. That's how the first Hell in a Cell started. And then this comes around. And they do a no contest in a Hell in a Cell with the Fiend, who's doing... I mean, he's kicking out of everything. At least let Seth cover him. Something. Because Seth was amazing in this match as well. Again, the psychology of the match was so good. Seth was so amazing in this match with his facial expressions, his movements, everything. Seth was so good. And they do a no contest. For some reason. Man, I'm getting tired. I'm actually getting tired of all this. Again, this is my least favorite match in the WWE by far. So that's why I'm kind of like amped up about this. Because this is what killed both The Fiend and Seth Rollins. Like, most of you do remember that it killed The Fiend, but it also killed Seth's momentum for a long time. And that sucks. Because this match was supposed to bring them both up, and it could have. It definitely could have. If Seth covered The Fiend here and he won the match, that would have been amazing. Like Seth, this conniving heel that would actually give 150% of himself to the business. No matter how big of a heel he is, he's gonna do anything it takes to win every single match. And even if he didn't win, if Bray kicks out and reverses it and somehow wins, even that would be amazing. It would build Fiend up as this character that can live through anything. And then you could do, like, of course, that would be hard to work with later because the Fiend would be basically unbeatable, but Bray Wyatt could beat it, and then you could do this whole psychology thing, this storyline between Bray Wyatt and maybe some of the ex-members of the Wyatt family. Everything like that. There was so much at play here, and they fumbled it so bad. I didn't even mention the red lights. That's how pissed off I am about this. Yeah, the entire match was done under red lighting for some reason. I mean, the red lighting wasn't even that bad. It was worse than regular, but it wasn't even like that bad that made it unwatchable. Like some of the later on matches, like the one against Randy Orton with The Fiend and everything like that, but it was still like unnecessary, I guess. But there's that finish. That will forever, I think, be the single worst finish of any match in wrestling history. Okay, so I just finished watching the second worst WWE match of all time according to ChatGPT. And that match is the Kennel from Hell between Al Snow and Big Boss Man at Unforgiven 1999. And this was actually the only match on the list that I haven't watched before. And it was interesting. I don't think the match in and of itself is as bad as much as it's infamous. Because honestly, the in-ring stuff is nothing special, but it's fine. It's passable. It's just okay. But the reason the infamy is there and the reason why it's treated as one of the worst matches of all time is the outside of the ring stuff. The dogs, which they're supposed to be these violent Rottweilers and everything, but they're just like, whenever the cameras would show them and whenever Al Snow or Big Boss Man would have to be afraid of them, the dogs would be outside just like barking at each other or humping. Humping the ring, humping the stairs, humping each other, and they were on a leash. So like there were people that were like keeping them on a leash, which is just the funniest thing ever. So yeah, this match actually, in my opinion, isn't as bad as much as it's just funny. It's just infamous, I think, because yeah, I can't say like any bad things about this match. All I can say is that it was funny. The dogs weren't supposed to like do anything, I guess, I mean, they might have been supposed to, but they weren't doing anything. So yeah, that's it for this match. Now onto the worst match of all time. I know what's coming. The Undertaker versus Goldberg at Super ShowDown 2019. What to say about this match that hasn't been said already? This match, I think, deserves the title of the worst match in WWE history. As in this match, nothing goes right. I honestly, nothing goes right. I mean, first, to start things off, we need to recognize that this is a match where both Goldberg and Undertaker are way past their prime. They should both be retired already. Actually, I have no idea how Goldberg retired only this year. But this should have never happened. I mean, first, in the very beginning of the match, Goldberg would suffer a concussion when he hit the ring post during a spear. And he would start bleeding all over, and I mean, he was concussed. And then we would have a jackhammer botch, we would have a tombstone piledriver botch, and to end this all off, The Undertaker would pick Goldberg up for the chokeslam and would give him the weakest chokeslam ever known to man. He would basically pick him up to about, like, chest height and drop him from there, and it just looks so bad. Looks so bad. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, and The Undertaker wins. But this just, it shouldn't have ever happened. And I can't hold it against either Goldberg or Undertaker, because this should have never happened. But it's such a bad match. It's just such a bad match. I said I'm going to watch this so you don't have to watch it, but I think you should watch this one, just to realize how truly bad it was and how much it shouldn't have happened. And this match only lasts for, what, like 10 minutes, I think? Something like 10 minutes. The Undertaker's entrance, I'm pretty sure, takes longer than the entire match, which The Undertaker's entrance is probably the only thing that worked here. That was the only thing that was actually good. So yeah, I'm done with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, please subscribe, and thank you. Peace.